Am I the asshole for not giving my girlfriend my social security number so she can run a background check on me?
Who are you? Who are you?
Excuse me, you're asking for my SSN?
No.
She's scamming, bro.
Yeah, that's a scam. That is absolutely a scam.
Okay, I, 27 male, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, 31 female, for almost a year now. This evening, she sat me down and said she needs to have a serious conversation with me, and she asked for my social security number. I said, absolutely not. Why would you need that? And she told me about her ex-boyfriend that was basically living a double life. He had a bunch of criminal charges in his past that he never told her about, and eventually exposed her to some sketchy and dangerous behavior before she broke things off after he cheated. I said, okay, thank you for telling me that, but what does that have to do with my social security number? She said ever since then, she's had her friend that works for the federal government run background checks on people to make sure they're safe. And because our relationship is progressing, she needs to know that I'm a safe partner for her, so she wants my SSN to check my criminal history. Now, for the record, I don't even have a parking ticket. I'm a nerd and a gym rat, and all I do is work. I go to school, I play Dungeons and Dragons, come home, watch anime, rinse and repeat. So I don't care about a background check. She won't find anything. But I'm not giving out my social security number. I don't feel comfortable enough providing that to her friend. When I said that, she got upset and said, I don't understand what women go through, and it's about safety. And I admitted she's right. I have no idea what women go through. But that doesn't mean I'm giving my SSN out to a complete stranger.
Right.
She says he isn't a stranger. He's one of my best friends, and he's married to a close friend of mine. And I said, honey, that's great, but I don't know him, and I don't trust him.
That's such useless information.
That's my information you're asking for. You can trust him with your personal information if you want, but no one I don't know is getting my SSN or critical details. It's just not happening. And she said that our relationship isn't going to be able to progress until I give him my SSN because she needs to know that she's safe. And she's offended that I don't trust her taste in friends. I got up and I left at that point, and I told her I respect her concerns, but her past trauma doesn't give her the right to try and strong arm me into giving out sensitive information to someone I don't know just because he works for the federal government and has access to the database. I used to work for the federal government, so I can say from experience, everyone working there isn't some wonderful person. I'm not assuming he's a monster or anything, but just working for the feds doesn't prove anything to me.
Right.
She called me insensitive and hasn't spoken to me since. Personally, I feel like she was gaslighting me into giving her what she wants, but I'm not sure. Okay, so top comment. Not the asshole. I just had a background check completed. I've had them every 5-ish years for the last 20 years because I volunteer with children. Some in-state, some federal. I also have been screened by the government for a permit several times. I have never had to provide an SSN. Sadly, I think your girlfriend may be the criminal and you may be her long con mark.
Oh, man. That's so true, yeah, because I did mentoring and they do background checks. I didn't give them my social security number.
Yeah.
Somebody else said, that's what I'm saying. You don't need the SSN to run a good background check these days. Everything is there online. Jail records and court documents are free. All you need is the city name and date of birth to find everyone's criminal history with pictures to prove it's really them. And then update. After reading the comments I've been getting over the last few days, I've decided to call her on New Year's Eve and give things one last chance because I'm the type of person that needs to know I did everything I could before I walk away from a relationship. And some people said she has valid concerns and she just went about them the wrong way, which made sense. I told her, I understand and respect your need to ensure your safety, but I'm not willing to potentially compromise my safety to make you feel safe by handing over my SSN to somebody I don't know and don't trust. And it's illegal for him to even use a federal database for personal reasons.
I was going to say, I was like, can you do that?
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, this for sure is a scam actually.
So that's out. But what I will do is pay for a background check of your choosing so long as it's a legitimate service and give you the results. I will not be providing my social security number to anyone, but my address, date of birth, and etc. are all fair game. She refused and said she has chosen a background check and that she's having her friend do it because she knows that she can trust him. So I said, if that's how you feel and you won't budge, then the issue here is trust. And I'm not willing to stay in a relationship with a woman that doesn't trust me because of some shit that doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm not paying for another man's sins, and I'm not giving you my social security number because your ex was a criminal. She started crying and asking why I can't understand that it's not about me, it's about her. And as I said, you made it about me when you asked for my social security number. She got pissed and started accusing me of lying and caring about her safety and saying, if I really cared, then I'd have no problem doing this because I don't understand how vulnerable women are in society. So I said I was willing to work with you up to a reasonable point. But now you're just trying to manipulate me and I don't feel safe being with you anymore. Because this is how you react when you don't get your way about having my SSN. What happens next when we have a major disagreement or a serious situation comes up? Are you going to keep crying to try and get your way or throw out another ultimatum to try and force me into doing what you want? She started saying that as a man, I can't understand what it's like to go through life as a woman and having to be afraid, and that this is what she has to do for her safety and security. And I just need to respect that and give her what she needs for her comfort. And I was like, I tried to compromise, but you wouldn't accept it. There's nothing more here to say. And to be clear, I wasn't exactly calm. I have severe anxiety, so this was a really, really hard conversation for me to have. I was actively pacing around my house and sweating and forcing words out the entire time. Then she started crying and asking about New Year's because we were supposed to spend it with her parents. And I said, you should have thought about that before you tried to strong arm me into getting your way. This isn't and everyone stood up and applauded moment. That's just how things went. I hung up and now we're over. Obviously I'm hurt, but I'm realizing I dodged a bullet because there's no reason she should have gotten this fucking messy. And before anyone tries to jump me in the comments again, I offered to pay for the check. She refused because it wasn't the test she wanted. I feel like I made a good effort to resolve things. Hate to ring in the new year without a kiss under the mistletoe, but it is what it is. I don't know if she really is that concerned I'm some lunatic criminal or if she's really trying to scam me like you said. Either way, it's over now. How do I, 25 female, repair my relationship with my boyfriend, 25 male, and his family after what I suggested to his sister, 19 female? So I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend, who we'll call G, for about 2 years. He has 3 younger siblings, M, 23 male, A, 21 male, and T, 19 female. All of them are still in college and still live at home with their mom, 55 female, and dad, 55 male. While my boyfriend and I rent an apartment. This summer, they will be celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary in France, where they had their wedding. They plan on getting first-class tickets, a high-end hotel, etc. One night, G and I were supposed to have dinner with his family while we were at their house, and T mentioned how excited she was for this summer and all the things they plan to do in France. As this is an anniversary trip for her parents, I suggested to T that she could do her parents a solid and maybe stay back home and out of their hair to give her parents some time away from their kids this summer. Or she could maybe pay her own way so her parents could save money. T asked why she should give up a trip to France, and I told her it would be a nice gesture for her parents' anniversary. I kept trying to tell her how nice it would be and how her parents would probably thank her for giving them space, and at some point M interrupted us and told me to stop meddling into family affairs and that I was overstepping, and to either apologize for pressuring T or to leave the house. I told them I didn't mean to make anybody upset, but when their dad came into the room and asked them what was wrong, they told him everything. He then asked me to leave the house and said I probably shouldn't come back anytime soon because I was overstepping, and he found it rude that I was making a problem and pressuring T to solve it. Me and G went back to our apartment and we haven't been speaking. Where do I go from here? And then there's an edit and an update. Info, the others are invited, but they're older, so I assume they can just go do their own thing. Info, I'm not obsessed with their financial situation. I just think it's important that T starts making her money on her own so that she can value it more. She's used to getting her hair, nails, and sometimes makeup done and paid for, not to mention how much product she buys for her hair and sanitary products. But top comment, not sure why you're pressed on the topic so much. You assume the parents want the alone time, but seems like they don't. You try too hard to make your point valid. And then somebody else said, parents of young kids crave quality time alone. Parents of adult kids crave quality time with all of their family present because it doesn't happen so as often.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
So your assumption was wrong. Secondly, if they have booked and planned this for their anniversary, this is obviously what they want. Thirdly, if they can afford first-class tickets with their family, money's not an issue. I'm not sure how you can repair this because not only have you offended his family, but you didn't even seem to recognize that you f***ed up. Last night, me and G had a long and serious talk about my comments at the dinner, along with some of my past comments. He told me, while in my family, refusing a free trip when you are invited may be seen as noble. In his family, refusing a free trip is seen as stupid. In my family, if someone offers to pay for you, you should always decline no matter what. My parents made me work all throughout high school and always told me that I'd have to get a scholarship to help pay for college because they weren't going to do it. It is also a courtesy in my family to not expect help with finances no matter how tough it may get, to only eat one serving at dinner gatherings, to always pay your own way, and we often voice our own opinions no matter what they are. He then went into discussing the trip to France. His mother has extended family who live there, so this will not be the first or last time they all go. It will be the first time they explore the area where they are, so even if T wasn't old enough to go off on her own or didn't know her way around or the language, she'd be fine. And if his mom and dad wanted some alone time, she'd just be fine on her own. And if they didn't, they have family there. When me and G first started dating, we were also talking about our family history. He told me about how his maternal great-grandparents moved to America from France. I was under the impression that everyone from his mother's extended family moved, not just the great-great-grandparents and their children. Apparently, his mother thought my behavior was because I didn't feel welcome by them, and the dinner was to invite me on the trip to France as a sort of peace offering. However, after his father caught me trying to sway T, he had enough and decided he couldn't take it anymore. No matter what his wife says, he will not tolerate me being around the rest of the family or in their home any longer. This came as a shock to the family as his dad doesn't speak much and is usually calm and composed.
Dang.
It's usually the father.
Dang.
Dang, he don't say nothing. He finally
say
snapped.
nothing,
That's
but
crazy
he
to
said
push a
something
dad
to
to
you.
snap.
Oh no, that's not good.
Old school dads? Oh.
That's like your dad, like, get out. That'd be crazy.
I'd be scared of Brendan. His dad told me to get out.
Oh my, if he did that, that'd be wild.
My boyfriend also showed me his photos from his parents' wedding. It looked like one of the most fairy tale weddings I'd ever seen. It was held in Chateau Chalane, and he explained how they plan on renting the space again and flying all of their extended family out to celebrate with them because they want to celebrate with everybody and will take time for themselves later on in the summer. I also teared up listening to how his parents met. After graduating high school, his mother spent the summer in France with her family while his dad was also visiting along with his older brother. His dad had struggled with cancer nearly his entire life up to that point, and it was supposed to be his dad's last trip before he let himself go because he was too tired of it all. One morning, while eating alone at a cafe, he recognized her as the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen, who spent her time helping out her family with their restaurant, running it like it was the Navy, someone who wasn't afraid to call customers out when they were being unreasonable or just downright rude, and someone who knew exactly what she wanted and how to get it. The complete opposite of him. They spent the day together, which inspired his father to continue his cancer treatments, accomplish his goals, and start taking life more seriously so he could be by her side for as long as she could be with him. His parents also told him and his siblings the only things in life they value more than each other are their children, and they want to make sure if life gets hard for them, they have something to fall back on. He told me he'd be moving back in with his parents until he finds a new apartment. He also revoked my invitation to their family Christmas trip to Aspen, which we were supposed to be leaving for tonight. I feel like I'm in a Darman video right now. What the fuck? On another note, friends saw my initial post and gave me an intervention. I will be attending therapy for the foreseeable future. May update when I unpack what's wrong with me. And then there's a little bit more edits for info. People seem to be confused. When I say his father recognized his mother in France, I mean that literally, as they are from the same hometown. Some people also think I'm saying love cured his father's cancer. I was told that it was what made him continue treatment. That is all I was told. I've also gotten comments about the years of the Chateau Chalane becoming a wedding venue and the wedding not making sense. Unless I'm misremembering something, I remember him saying they were married there. Maybe I'm mixing up locations when he was talking about the wedding venue and the wedding anniversary venue. And then top comment, your parents have shaped you to see the world as a dog-eat-dog world. And then another one, worse, the whole thing where you were always supposed to decline a nice thing when it is offered to you is some manipulative, sabotaging bullshit. And then somebody else said, unfortunately, there are families like this. She just had a big lesson on how her normal family isn't so normal.